Now, Kenty, I was one of the 600,000 people in Australia that received a text over the weekend that somehow had your name on it. The chain message about Jai Arrow that everyone seemed to receive, that there were more people that were with Jai, with the dancers in Queensland.
Well, I don't know about that.
Is there more? Does anyone know if there's any more to the story?
Well, it's a rumour, but it's totally unsubstantiated. And Jai Arrow, according to the rumour, took the rap for a few other players who were there, but I have absolutely no proof of that.
Well, Queensland Police have looked into it. The NRL's own integrity unit have looked into it, and so far, we haven't heard a peep.
Again, it's been nearly a week.
If the Queensland Police have gone in and shone the torches around and tried to get to the bottom of it, we haven't heard anything.
Well, with CCTV footage at a hotel like that, it wouldn't be too hard, would it?
No, correct.
To get the truth.
Yeah, it's just fun. Look, look, rugby league is soap opera for men, and men and women. It's just a soap opera. When players get in trouble at different points, sometimes it turns on us. It's just your turn in the storyline.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. People love the gossip. They love using the cachet of knowing something. I'll tell you what really happened there. All these group chats and all the rest of it.
Someone stitched you up there, though, by making it look as though your name's attached to that
I know that, but you win them, you wear them. What can you do?
On that story, we had Paul Green. He was lambasted after last Friday's, 18-second response. Then he walked off. He tried to clarify those comments today.
I was advised on the way to training there that not to make comment as the matter was still ongoing. Given Jai had been sanctioned, we thought the matter was closed, but then, as I said, I was advised that it wasn't. It was still ongoing, and so I was told not to speak. I haven't personally been involved. It's been an integrity unit investigation. So they're conducting the investigation. So as I said, I haven't been personally involved. We spoke to the players. The players have been staunch in their position that there was no one else involved in the breach, and so I don't have any other information other than that.
All right. That was a lot longer than 18 seconds.
He handled it the right way. What he said today, he should have said Friday instead of a short. Whenever you turn up at a press conference, say a short statement and do not take questions, it generally means you're hiding something, or you don't want to be exposed in the cross-examination of questioning to a lie, or leave yourself vulnerable to a lie that I'll deny it today, hope no one finds out, and then in 2 days' time, someone does find out and you're being busted. So you just read a very broad, bland statement, which Paul Green did, and then you'll just leave, and that way you've escaped any ongoing dramas. That was the concern out of Friday. He's since come out, and as we've spoken about, there's been no evidence come out that anybody else was involved or anything else is going on, and he's clarified that today. So
why is it the coach? Why isn't it the Queensland manager? Why isn't it Bruce Hatcher, the chairman of the QRL?
Because it's a club thing. It's a team thing. It's a team thing.
It's the Queensland Rugby League, Kenty.
It happened within the camp
The coach
confines.
isn't in charge of security.
Bruce Hatcher was not there.
He is still entitled to speak on behalf of his organisation.
I don't think so. I think it comes down to the coach. I think the Origin camps operate as their own little entity. You wouldn't expect Dave Trodden to come up and speak on behalf of Brad Fittler about something that's happened within camp. He wasn't there.
This Maroons camp has got to go down as arguably the greatest catastrophe, disaster, whatever you want to call it, in the history of Origin. You go back to New South Wales when Tamana Tahu walked out of camp. You go back to Junior Pearce and the ill-fated horse riding bonding session that wiped out Robbie Kearns. It's been a disaster.
This Queensland team is becoming New South Wales 2006 to 2013. They are. For 8 years, Queensland won the series, and year after year, New South Wales fumbled and bumbled, tried to find their way out of the problem that they were in, and Queensland just sat back and giggled at the incompetency of New South Wales, who totally lost their way when it came to Origin. Queensland are heading the same way. They sit down and the game won, a lot of injuries, okay? They lost a lot of players, fair call, but they got walloped 50-6. They then go out and they pin their hopes on rescuing the game on a 6-game rookie for the Warriors to play fullback, thinking that he's going to help them score 50 points and get out of trouble. Then he gets injured day before the game, and they bring in a bloke not even qualified to play for the state, not even qualified as their emergency replacement.
There was no problem in the first place picking Reece Walsh. He was unlucky he broke down. Reece Walsh is a
He was not going to fix their
superstar.
problem, Buzz.
But how do you know?
He was not going to fix their
he was going to
problem.
bring eyeballs to that game. He was.
That's not going to help you win.
Well, why? You know, a lot
Eyeballs
of
don't help
people-
you win.
Of course they don't. But there's nothing to say the kid wouldn't have been good. It was a tight game, that one, 20-6.
26
The second one's 26-6.
26-0.
It's 26
Oh,
blot.
It was 20. It wasn't a tight game.
Well, it was for a
It
long
was 20
time.
0
but
at
there
half
was an
time. It
intercept
was
pass.
20 0 at half time, Buzz. They were out of it at half time.
I would have loved to have seen him play.
Oh, Buzz, please, come on.
The same
You
as
do not
Peg-
bring an 18-year-old six-game rookie into an Origin
Well-
atmosphere after a 50-6 flogging and expect that he's going to be the one to turn around for you. Queensland need to go back to
Hammer? How old's the Hammer?
I don't know, what, 20?
You
What-
blowing up
why is that
about him
relevant?
being there?
I
He's a
think
kid,
got.
Dave Byrne.
Look, I feel sorry for him.
Luck versus Tommy Turbo.
Yeah, I'm just
I
saying.
feel sorry for him because I
Yeah.
think he's being brought into an environment that's going to be very difficult for
But the
him.
bloke
And
that
this
used
can
to
burn
sit here
guys.
played at 18. Brad Fittler played at 8.
Different environment, Buzz. They weren't on. So
They're
far, the
more
tally is
professional
76-6.
environment these
Oh, Buzz,
days.
come on.
You're missing the point, Buzz.
I'm not
the
missing
issue
the point.
is the Maroon. It's been a shambolic camp from
I can't
start to
argue with that,
finish.
James,
Right.
but to throw the selection of Reece Walsh into the mix as the shambolic camp is wrong.
Well,
No, the problem with that.
I found two
the problem-
people who didn't like it, you and Phil Gould, blowing up about it.
And who's on your side?
Plenty.
Plenty. Well, I'll probably back.
Paul
if I got
Green,
Phil
Jonathan
Gormick corner
Thurston.
thinking about it, I'll go all right.
what about poor old Bruce Archer?
Well, he came out today because the story's going around about the weekend about Fatty coming out
Well,
saying...
let me play it. Let me play. This is. I'll give it a bit of context. So Fatty Vorton out of nowhere is on ABC Radio taking aim at the QRL.
Billy Slater was actually offered the job earlier in the year. He said, yeah, I'll take it. A month went by, nothing happened. And then Billy got a phone call from someone in the QRL and said, oh, mate, we'd love you to come in and have an interview. And he said, what are you talking about? Interview? Didn't you tell me I had the job? Oh, mate, there's been another guy come up. We just want to interview. And he said, mate, you know what? You can stick your interview where the sun don't shine. Don't worry about it. And that's when Paul Green got the job.
It's all fantasy. It didn't happen like that at all. Like, with due respect to Fatty, the fact was they formed, the Queensland Rugby League formed a subcommittee of the board with 3 people on it, and they went through and they interviewed Paul Green and they interviewed Billy Slater. They offered the job to Paul Green. He accepted the job. They then offered Paul Green the assistant job.
Billy.
They offered Billy the assistant job, which he knocked back. That's what happened.
Why would you make something up like that?
Well,
though?
Bruce Hatches came out today and said he will sign a stat deck to say that conversation, as relayed there by Paul Vorton, where you can stick it up your backside, did not happen.
I'll tell you what I found really unusual about the coaching situation, in that probably the NRL's top manager or agent up there with them, George Mimas, looked after Billy Slater, who was, auditioning for the job, and looked after Paul Green, who was auditioning.
Oh, well, that's what you call win-win, Phil.
No, but you don't think there's some sort of conflict there, or?
Well, no, he's acting for both.
But who's?
I don't find that unusual. I think
Oh,
the
don't
bigger
you?
issue,
Okay, I'm like you.
for Queensland is, right, you look at their coaching staff and then you look at the Blues Brains Trust, and there seems to be a heavyweight and then a group that's clearly out of its depth.
All right.